Welcome back, everyone. Guess who's back? I am. You know who we are already. I think at this point, I think we've gotten pretty familiar with each other. Guess what? It's almost time to get our brooms out. Not to speak too quickly, but we are winning the first two games already. New York Liberty, what's going on?
So you see, winning two games, pretty much smashed two games. I
Yeah, I
mean,
want to be nice.
yeah, I know, but game one you kind of bloodied the nose, and then game two we kind of put the foot on the throat, and game three it might be in New York,
Oh,
and they might have their own fans,
oh.
but I I I I thought this would go 5 games. Like I thought this would be really competitive, really close.
In all honesty, it's not
No,
over yet. We could,
no, no,
right?
no. It could, yeah, it still
For,
could go 5.
for TV ratings, they might want to go to game five, but I don't know. We'll have to have our friends over at the New York Liberty podcast give their input because right now we are taking the lead. It's not about what you did during the season, it's what you do now. So I think we're up for a little challenge with them.
And the thing going into this, right? We both said it. We both said like, "Oh, wow, that New York Liberty bench." And in game 1, they used their bench really early, the Liberty. And then it got to the point where they couldn't use their bench anymore because they needed their best 5 on the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
Whereas we were still able to use our bench and utilize that bench because we were up so much. And in game 2, it was almost as if the Liberty just didn't learn from game 1 whatsoever. Like, we hear this a lot in basketball. You live and die by the 3. Sabrina is non-existent. Courtney Vandersloot is on holiday, like, on vacation, I don't
Did I
know.
read Kelsey's playing with a broken finger?
Yeah, I seen that, it's all strapped up and stuff. But
Now, if I had a broken finger, I probably would be like, I can't play, but I also don't get paid to go play basketball. Now, the fact that she's out there having a great game too with her broken finger, come on now. Now they this is hands down they truly deserve it. And let's just say Asia deserved, MVP. I mean, I'm going to continue to say it.
yeah, that was a media call. Obviously not us media,
Mm.
but that was definitely a media call. I think as well, like, we talk about Kelsey, and it was pretty evident during the regular season that the New York Liberty had her number, and
Oh yeah.
they shut her down during the regular season. But Kelsey and her mentality, she's taken that challenge on,
Oh yeah.
and she's been lights out. And then you see Chelsea, who,
Playoff mode.
like, I'm really sorry, right? But I kind of thought like last season she was like in eighth gear, but like this season seems to have found ninth gear. Like she just cannot stop. And then there's the quiet one of the bunch, Jackie Young,
Oh yeah.
who
Has been explosive this year too. I mean, game 1 of the actual season itself, she had an unbelievable phenomenal game. Like we can't say that like they're coming out right now and having playoff mode because they've been already like not in hibernation this season. They've been showing it what they could do.
and now game 2, I do have to make an apology. Public announcement kind of deal. Kia Stokes. I never said I didn't love her. I love that she's on our team. She can rebound. But when you've got Kia Stokes hitting two threes in game 2 of a playoff finals, and on the other side, you've got seasoned people who are struggling from three, makes you feel pretty good about the Aces right
Oh yeah.
now. And Kia Stokes. Kia has done, she has went above and beyond my expectations by this point.
I mean, we said Becky knows what she's doing. I mean, Becky's had
I'm
her
never
really
questioning her again.
never.
I'm
I
just going to
think
shut up.
we've always like wondered like what she was doing. We're like, why is she doing this? Becky knows what she's doing, so we have to let her be. And this is why we're not paid to coach, and she is. So we'll let her continue to focus on what she's doing because it's obviously working.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're 2-0 up. The game itself, though, game 2 was pretty much a carbon copy of game 1 from the Aces side. It was fast-paced, smash mouth basketball where the Aces went in and we set the tone of the game at the end, like, and there's no question about that. And I think even Sandy alluded to it in her game 1 press conference. She was like, "Yeah, well, the Aces have set the tone, and we kind of just went along with it. So we need to in game 2 obviously change that mentality." And they didn't. And Sabrina, and Sabrina Escu, I think she's a phenomenal player,
Oh yeah. I mean,
but
and that's a given. I mean, we have to
we
give
made her
her
look average
credit is
though.
due. Yeah.
We've made her look average. And I think that's an exceptionally difficult thing to do. I take nothing
Oh
away
yeah.
from Sabrina. She is a phenomenal talent. But in these finals, the only player that we've well, 2 players really that we have not slowed down, Jonquel Jones. The only thing that she is getting into is foul trouble, to be fair, and Brianna Stewart. Brianna Stewart's still been phenomenal, but you looked at their starting 5 and a bit of their bench, and you were generally kinda like, "That is a on paper, that is a really phenomenal team."
Oh yeah.
But if you can shut down the other 3 positions, which is exactly what the Aces have done, it makes it very difficult, especially Sabrina, Courtney Vandersloot, who they rely on a lot for
Yeah.
volume scoring.
Yeah.
Marine obviously coming in off the bench in game 1, especially that first half. She was a bit scary. But then we seem to neutralize her as well, and her defense, I mean, she has been caught out on an island a number of times against Kelsey.
Oh yeah.
And Kelsey just ran at her. Just, "No, I'm going for this." And going back to Kelsey, even going up against Jonquel Jones, it's almost as if Kelsey has, taken what happened in the regular season, bottled it up,
Mhm.
and just exploded,
That's what I
and
was gonna say. Maybe
shows no fear.
she's taken, she was like simmering, she was like, getting ready for saving her energy for the finals because she knew this is when they really, really needed her. And, again, I mean, at the end of the day, I think she's an unbelievable player. We saw it last season too. We've been seeing it. She's one of these players that will forever, when people think of basketball, they'll think of her. Right. And I think that's so important because she's unbelievable. I mean, look, to play with a broken finger. I mean, players do it, right? You see it. Do they have unbelievable games? No. But I think at the end of the day, I think, we're gonna see going into game 3, I think this is gonna be really interesting to see what happens, right? Are we gonna continue to really know that if we win, like we have one game, that's it, that's all we need left? Or are we going to like be like, oh, we've got this, or are we gonna go in hungry? Like I think that's gonna be interesting to see how we come out.
I think game 3 has to be more competitive from a viewer standpoint. Like
Oh yeah,
in game 2, like I say, Kia Stokes had 8 points. We had Kelsey Plum with 23, Jackie Young with 24, and Asia Wilson with 26. I mean, those are huge numbers. And Alicia Clark played a good 20 minutes, but we've seen Kirsten Bell, Kayla George,
yeah,
Sydney Colson all get minutes. And we're also seeing Candace Parker not play on the floor, but be there in the huddles around the
oh
team the whole time. And one thing that's been talked about a lot in the media is because obviously like they have like their 15 minutes of media time
yeah,
during practice. But one thing that has been noticed is these players are having fun. Like it is serious to them. But it's almost as if there's a time and a place for being serious.
yeah.
And we're at practice, we're having fun. Like that's not it. We've done our hard practice before the media have
Oh
come
yeah,
in. But like this is us having fun. We're having a laugh and a joke around, and it is very much kind of very. I mean, I think we actually spoke about this like right at the beginning of the season where they were becoming into the arena jumping and dancing and
Yeah,
singing and
having a
all this
good
kind
time,
of stuff.
like, their vibes were there.
And that's continued.
Mhm.
So I think that camaraderie, I think that is what is outweighing the liberty because this team, one, are behind Becky and what she is put together as a package, and the players themselves, they seem to be a kind of tight knit community
Yes. Yeah.
within themselves. Like it's almost as if they're in their own little bubble, and it really, really has worked well.
Yeah.
And for the Liberty, like they must be looking at this and like, you know, okay, they blew us out a little bit in game one, but they absolutely smacked us around in game two.
Yeah. You know, I think that's so important what you said because I do think that they are a like they're like I don't want to say a family, but like a tight knit unit. And you can tell. You know, they're not just somebody coming into practice and like having to like be good on camera so that they look like they're all like close. No, like you can genuinely tell that they're all like going through this together, making the best of it, and actually seem like they like each other. You know, it's showing when they're playing that they like each other. This is not just a, "Oh, I can't stand them, but on camera, I have to look like I like them." No, like, you can genuinely tell that they are all, like they all have that good, like, relationship.
Oh, definitely. I think the relationships there. We seen that in the press conferences afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, Asia's talking about Jackie Young being the sister she never wanted, and Jackie Young saying that Asia Wilson's her big sister. So there's those kind of dynamics and relationships, and sometimes across all of sports, not just basketball, but sometimes across sports, there is that one team and it might only happen like once every 10 years or something in a league, but there's this one team that suddenly just comes together
Yeah.
and no one can explain it, no one can understand it. Uh, and I think this Aces team is that.
Yeah.
I don't even think they were this close last year.
No.
I think last year they all had a focus,
Yeah.
and it's Becky's first year. They're all trying to figure each other out. Whereas this year, I mean, the relationship between Asia and Becky, like that relationship, you can tell is built on respect.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know, and Asia's coming from Dawn, right? So, like, she knows a good coach too. So I think coming in, you know, Dodd has produced unbelievable talent, right? So now to have also like coming in here now having Becky, like she's I mean, you have a player like Asia who is unbelievable. But now to be playing for coaches too that are also one of their kinds, that's even better.
Absolutely. Now, on the Liberty, we'll,
Mhm.
we'll, we'll give them a little bit of chat.
Mhm.
But Niger has been phenomenal. I feel for them. I feel a little bit like I don't know if it's the media, but like I kind of feel like she's a little bit forgotten about sometimes. Brianna, 14 points, Janquil Jones, 22, Sabrina, 10, Courtney Vandersloot, 9, like in this game, and she was single digits in the last game as well. They did use their bench more. Dawson played 10 minutes, Marine played 19, Kayla Thornton played 12. So they are using their bench more, but it's really not to their benefit almost
No.
because the bench is not being that productive. And that's something that couldn't be said for the regular season. If you look at the regular season, their bench was probably, I think it was the second most productive bench in the WNBA in
Mhm.
regular season. And they've went from that to, against the Aces, who, let's be honest, we've all said it, we don't have that much depth.
Mm-mm.
And, we still don't, but we still are hammering away at the Liberty. Let's talk game three. It's in New York. It's at Barclays. They've sold out the lower bowl. I
Yeah.
haven't heard yet if they've opened up the upper bowl. Given the last two results, they might not want to. So I, I do see when you're two up in a series, you go into game three as a fan. We're both fans. and you're like, "Yes, we're gonna smash them in game 3 as well. It's gonna be a sweep. Easy, no problem." As a player, and even as a
You
coach,
wanna win at home.
you go into game 3 and you're like, it's just one more. The finish line's there. It's right in front of you, but there is still that game 3 to be played,
Yeah, and
and
that's usually where I think, we see it all the time with, "Oh, it's gonna be a sweep," and then it turns out, it's not a sweep, it has to go to another game. So, do I think it's gonna be an easy game? No. Especially now that they're going back to New York. They've had some time in between both games too to be like, "Okay," like, they're gonna fix up a couple things that they saw went wrong and work on it. Who knows? Maybe the New York Liberty will I don't wanna say that they're gonna win game 3, but I don't think they're going to just let us have it the way some people are thinking.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be a blowout like games 1 and 2.
We hope
I
not.
I I think, and you know what? Like, as a basketball fan, like, I don't want it to be a
No.
blowout. I want it to be close. I want it to be tight. I still want the Aces to win, but I want it to be closer and a competitive game, because I think, like, I almost think that during the regular season, Becky has been playing mind games,
Oh, we knew that
and
though. We've said that a couple of times.
then you've got to the playoffs, and we haven't lost a game in the playoffs. Like, we've just sailed through, and that kinda worried me going into game 1 because I was like, "You know, we've kinda sailed this far, like, are we gonna get absolutely jumped on here?"
And we've struggled
Uh,
against the Liberty during the regular season. How many games did we play against them during the regular season? Like 5?
5, yeah.
And, we didn't do great during those games. So now going into the playoffs and the finals, let's see, right? Because at the end of the day, maybe Becky's got these games she's doing. I don't know.
You know, you do it in the finals, that's where it counts.
Exactly.
Like, the regular season, yeah. I I mean, I personally would give up all 5 games to the Liberty during the regular season again.
No, to beat them in
Maybe
playoffs.
maybe
In
not
the
so much the Commissioner's Cup, I'd still like that. I'd like to do the double, but, there's always next year. But, I mean, the one thing that I start to question for the Liberty moving forward is it's quite an expensive team they've put together. So to not win, that's quite a barbell you've kind of racked up. So I wonder if, do we see this same Liberty team next year, or do they move on from a couple? Obviously, they're not going to move on from Brianna or Sabrina or Jankwell. They're on big contracts, but you know, do they go like the Aces model where, yeah, you pay your top 5 stars, you bring in, you go after Alea Boston or someone, you try and make a trade for her, and you give Indiana as much as they want, and then you have Alea, like that core kind of 4, that could work. But like, I really feel like the Liberty have been put on the back foot so much, and then in game 2 pushed even further back.
Yeah.
Like, is realistically, my heart says obviously Aces win and it's nice and done and dusted. But my brain says game threes never go that, because they always do say a playoff doesn't start until the home team loses. Well, if the home team loses here, it is finished because
Yeah.
like, it's not even started
No.
basically. So I do wonder, like, about that, because and there's obviously network TV and TV deals with ESPN
You
and
always
everything.
hear them like, "Oh, it'll go to game 5 for TV rights." You always hear that joke about it, but I don't know. I I don't think the Liberty are just gonna give up like that. I really don't. I think that might be the only compliment I'll give them tonight is, that they're not gonna let them go that easy. Now, who knows, right? Because I think we've said that a couple times, and then we end up winning, and then I'm like, "All right, my predictions haven't always been right. This is why I'm not in Vegas today." Um So I think honestly at the end of the day, I think, I don't I think it's gonna be a very close game, but I've stopped betting, so I don't know.
I think this will be closer.
Yeah.
I think and the worrying thing is Sabrina has not really been a factor these two first games, and my worry is that I've always thought that she's a rhythm shooter, and when she gets in rhythm, there's no stopping her,
She just hasn't.
and I really worry that she gets in rhythm and
Yeah.
doesn't look back. Because if she does that, that then sets up game 4, and she's still in that rhythm, and then game 5, like, I know
At least game
we've
5, we're back, right? We're back in
yeah,
Vegas for game
yeah,
5.
game 5 we're back in Vegas, and obviously any coach, any GM, any team owner, you wanna win it on your home floor. But I think the primary thing for coaching a player is that you wanna win it. Like, that is the game. I mean, you can still fly back and have your parade, let's
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest.
Oh, yeah.
Although it might be a little bit difficult in Vegas because 'cause they've just put a Formula 1 track around Vegas.
They have.
So maybe a little bit more difficult because
Mm.
all that construction's still going on. But, yeah, it's if we can win it in game 3, I'm happy. I'm
Let's say
done.
win. Let's say win. No more ifs. When we win it, we are
When we
going
win it in
to
game 3. I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, they've put this game even though it's like on a Sunday night, they have put this game on rather late in the UK, so I think it's like 1 a.m. in the UK. Slightly annoying. However, because game 1 was at like 8 p.m. UK time, which was perfect, for
Yeah,
me.
3 p.m. here in the East Coast, so on Sunday.
Was it 3 p.m.? Oh, maybe I read
Yeah,
it wrong.
it's a 3 p.m. game.
So last week, and this is a by the way, and all our fans need to get on this. So in the UK, the game on Sunday was like tape delayed.
Mm.
So it was live on League Pass at 8 p.m., but it wasn't shown in the UK until 10 p.m.
Mm.
So 2 hours later. So I'd already watched it before it was even on TV because I had League Pass. And my my thing about that is there's young fans in the UK who want to see these finals, but they've got school the next morning.
I mean,
And then,
I can speak for that. I go to sleep at, like, 9 p.m., so I would
well, you're
not be
kind of
staying.
you're getting old. I mean, you have a nap in the afternoon, so
Good. There's nothing wrong with a midday afternoon nap, like
but there are kids who would want to see that. Now,
Mhm.
their parents are like 10 o'clock's too late because by the time that game finishes, it's like half 10, half 11, kind of midnight. So no, you're not staying up and watching that. And as a basketball fan, like of the '90s, I had to stay up until 4 a.m. to watch NBA finals, and it was a pain in the rear end. Not for me, but for my teachers the next day. They couldn't get like jaw out of me because I was absolutely dead at my desk. Obviously, parents don't want that. But yeah, I felt a little bit bad. I'm gonna go back and check. Maybe that's where I've seen it, like it starts late because maybe we have it tape delayed again
So I know
this week.
game
So
4 will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so I
yeah,
know
yeah.
game 3 is at 3 p.m. though. It's convenient, 3.
Well, yeah, that'll work. That's 8 p.m. for us. I wonder if I've seen it, but I will double check that. But hopefully, somebody sensible comes up, and we have these decent times so that international fans. Because the thing is, as well, there's a lot of WNBA players who are now abroad playing in
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah.
Who would probably like to watch it as well. To be
Mhm.
fair, a lot of players in Turkey and stuff just now playing for Fenerbahce. So,
Turkey.
huh?
Turkey has their name is Turkey. I
No,
wanna
it's
say
Turkey.
they did, like, a whole campaign changing their name.
No, it's Turkey. It's always been Turkey.
I wanna say it's Turkey
It's like the
now.
bird. Nah, it's the bird. It's Turkey.
Yeah, look, Turkey versus Turkey, or maybe it's Turkey
That's a team.
officially the Republic of Turkey. I
Good
mean,
for them. They're still Turkey. They're I've called them Turkey for
So look, right here,
41 years.
to break the news to everybody in case we don't know, the Turkish government notified the United Nations and other international organizations in May 2022, requesting that they use Turkey officially in English instead of Turkey, which the UN immediately agreed to do. The US Department of State officially began using Turkey in January 2023. It's not even spelled Turkey anymore. It's spelled Turkey.
Nah, it's
So
Turkey. Do you know how many Brits go on holiday to Turkey every year?
oh,
Like,
now we're going to Turkey. So in case
it's
anybody says, "Oh, I'm going to Turkey," now you know what it is.
oh, Jesus. And on that bombshell, we will end the show um, with some hilarity. We will be back next week. Hopefully, we're back earlier than we normally are because hopefully
As
we are
champion.
celebrating a championship win. Because that would be freaking awesome. Let's
You know
be
what'd be
honest.
cool? It's our first year doing the podcast. As for
No,
the Aces, if we win, I think we're good luck for them. I mean, I'm just throwing
it's
that out
obviously
there.
up. Maybe
Maybe
we'll
I'll
get a
be back in
championship ring
maybe I'll
this
be
year.
back in Vegas for that day. Maybe I'll be back in Vegas.
I think we should reach out to Nicky Fargas and say, like, I'm pretty sure we're due a championship ring. Like, pretty sure. Or
First
at
year,
least one of the
back to back.
at least one of the pendants, something like that.
Even a picture of it.
Yeah, I'll take a signed picture. Yeah, it's fine. Um, but we will be back either beginning of the week or end of the week, depending upon results, whether we're celebrating or commiserating. Either way, we'll be back. So enjoy Sunday, and for all those working in Turkey, enjoy the game as well. Hopefully, you can stay up and watch it. And we will be back next week.
Have a good one.